Chicago to battle the division rival Blackhawks in a showdown of the two teams with the most points in the league. Let's go there and look. Blues coming on, but Chicago steals the puck. And then watch Adam Oates pick Wayne Presley's pocket, snap off a dart. And Mike Keenan, stunned, the Hawks coach, sees his team behind 3-0 after 1 in Chicago. Now St. Louis's Jeff Brown has his pass on the power play stolen by Adam Creighton. This baby is unassisted. Try stopping that one. And Chicago comes to life, and so does the crowd. Steve Thomas then, late in the game, comes in. It's stopped. Adam Creighton bats it out of the air, ties the game at 5. They're hysterical in Chicago. Chicago goes ahead seconds later. Jeff Corton, although for the Blues, tries a rapid 3-0 St. Louis. It was rip-roaring down the stretch at Chicago Stadium, rocking all the way. They get a point each. These two teams are the most
record in the entire NHL. On top of that, they held the second-best home mark in the league. And as luck would have it, they were hosting St. Louis. But the Blues were undefeated in their last 8 games, so the Blackhawks and the Blues would appear to be pretty evenly matched. Remember that word, even. Chicago's objective, stop the league's leading scorer, Brett Hull, but sometimes the Hawks try too hard. Watch as 2 of them go with Hull, leaving the slot wide open for Ron Wilson. That put the Blues on the board. Then Hull blasts in his own goal on the power play, his 37th of the year. St. Louis led 4-1 at that point, but the Blackhawks come charging back. The puck is cleared around, and Doug Wilson slams the shot past Vincent Rondeau. After a Bob Basson goal, Steve Larmer skates in front, unchecked, and scores. It's 5-4 St. Louis. Then Adam Creighton tied it. Then 13 seconds later, Wayne Presley puts in a rebound. It's 6-5. St. Louis holds on to its undefeated streak. The Blues are 6-0-3 in their last 9 games.
Hawks up 1-0. The Devils come right back. Troy Crowder with a lot of time and space. The wrist shot ties the game, but the Hawks get the passing. Doug Wilson passing to Michel Goulet in the slot. Hits the far corner of the net. Michel Goulet, couple of goals. Ed Belfour, his 25th victory, and Chicago gets off their schneid with Jersey. Over the last 3 or 4 years, Jersey's owned them, but tonight it's Chicago 5 in Jersey.
The Rangers beat the Penguins 7-5. Penguins goalie Tom Barrasso had his personal 7-game winning streak come to an end. Barrasso had not given up more than 4 goals in any game during his streak. In Chicago, the Blackhawks and the Devils pick it up in the first period. Steve Larmer feeds Dave Manson at the point. He nails the slapper. The Hawks are on the board 1-0, but the Devils come right back. Troy Crowder, with no one around him, flicks in the wrist shot, tying the game. It was good passing by the Hawks. Doug Wilson hits Michel Goulet. He flicks it in. Chicago nails New Jersey 5-3. The Blackhawks have won 3 in a row and improved their league best record to 28-13-3. Goulet had 2 goals and 1 assist. Improved his league-leading points total to 82, including 57 assists. The league-leading Blackhawks entertain the Maple Leafs in Chicago. It's a big night for Jeremy Roenick. Michel Goulet, a nice pass to Roenick. He works his way over and taps it in. 1 of 2 goals on the night. Then Steve Larmer leaves the puck for Roenick. He takes his time and sets up Goulet. Goulet had 2 goals. Now, the only way to stop Michel Goulet, not especially legal. A 2-hander by Dave Ellett, and perhaps a little bit of acting by Goulet. Ellett was given a game misconduct for his actions. Goulet later returned to the game. The Blackhawks top Toronto 7-2.
Here's Roenick of Chicago for Larmer. Larmer trying to return. It is Chris Chelios of the Blackhawks converting for an 8-4 lead. You got to watch him switch hands on the hockey stick here.
Record skating at the Pacific Coliseum and getting a good welcome from the fans. First period, scoreless. Jeremy Roenick to Doug Wilson. Fans, Chris Chelios. But Steve Larmer is there to tap in goal number 31. It's 1-0 Chicago, and Ed Belfour made it stand. Garth Butcher with the blast. Belfour there to stop it. A scary moment, though, for Troy Murray as Greg Adams clears the puck and hits Troy Murray in the face. He apparently swallowed some of his bridge work that he had done. His mouth was cut along with his tongue. We hope that he is okay. The Blackhawks went on to win 1-0. Rookie Ed Belfour.
And Kent was dumbfounded. Late in the third, 3-2 Rangers. Greg Adams ties it up, and then Richter. His show started.
They've been saving up for this game, I guess. Chris Chelios back in Montreal's Forum. For the first time since they sent him to Chicago, he'll be feeling pretty good right now. Only 19 shots for the Hawks, and they scored 8 goals, 8-3 winners over the Canadiens. Chelios and Dennis Savard, who traded sweaters and teammates over the summer. So far, Chelios has had the better of it, and the Hawks certainly had the upper hand tonight. Steve Thomas stuffed in a rebound to get it going in the first period. Montreal then came even at 1-1, but Michel Goulet got a break a few minutes later when his backhander skipped right off the skate of the goaltender and in. 2-1 Chicago. And 5 seconds before the period ended, Hawks on a power play, Steve Larmer blistered one off Gilbert's pass. It was 3-1 Chicago after 1. They got 3 more goals in the second, including a shorthanded goal by Jeremy Roenick, and then finished the night with 2 in the third. The Hawks win it 8-3 in Montreal to snap their 2-game losing streak. And boy, did they need it. St. Louis at Buffalo.
Into tonight's game, the Blackhawks trailed St. Louis by 3 points. Now, if the first period is any indication, looks like the Hawks will be only 1 point behind the Blues. Simply put, folks, the Hawks are whipping St. Louis. Hawks got on the board in the first 2 minutes of the first period. Steve Larmer scores his 35th goal of the year. Larmer scores on the power play past Curtis Joseph's legs. 1-0 Hawks. You know it's the Hawks tonight when you see something like this. Every goalie's nightmare, Brett Hull on a breakaway, but if you're Eddie Belfour, no problem. Hawks led it 4-0 after 1. It is now 5-0 Blackhawks in the second period. Coming up on instant replay.
Since Mack and Belfour came up big, Hawks get rolling. Steve Larmer beats Curtis Joseph between the legs. Joseph had lost his stick on the play. 1-0 Hawks. Steve Thomas breaks in and just rips the shot that touches nothing but net. 4-0 Blackhawks. The Hawks shorthanded. It didn't matter. Steve Larmer. Scott Stevens goes down. Larmer. Dirk Graham. It's 5-0 Hawks. Blues trying to climb back in it. Belfour robs Hull. And then Brindamore on the rebound. Eddie Belfour, who will no doubt be the Rookie of the Year, his 35th victory of the season. Chicago wins it 6-2. Brett Hull shut out for just the first time in 13 games. And you know what he's been doing to the opposition this year.
Going in, led Chicago by 3 points for the top spot in the North, but sometimes the hotter they are, the harder they can fall. And that was the case at Chicago Stadium tonight. And once was the case again, always Ed Belfour playing tough between the pipes, stoning Brett Hull there. Then in the first period, Jeremy Roenick attacking. His shot goes off Adam Oates of the Blues, who scores the Blackhawks goal into the net. Chicago had a 3-0 lead. Then Chicago completes their 4-goal first period. Steve Thomas cranks it up and just blows it past Curtis Joseph. 4-0 at that point. And the Blackhawks went on to an easy 6-2 win. Jeremy Roenick, 2 goals and an assist for Chicago in the win.
Was set 16 years ago.
Well, there were still 5 shopping days left till Christmas, the last time Chicago defeated Boston. Christmas 1986, that is. Yes, it had been a 13-game drought for the Blackhawks. Would that change Thursday night? Well, the crowd always a factor at Chicago Stadium, and things rough early. Dave Manson flattens Ray Bourque. Bourque remained in the game, but was of little factor. Reggie Lemelin then on the stop early, stops Steve Larmer's short-handed bid. We're scoreless at the end of 1. Early second, Hawks on the power play. Doug Wilson picks up the loose puck and beats Lemelin. 1-0 Blackhawks. Bruins tie it. Then Gary Galley fires from the point. Ken Hodge Jr. fights for and knocks in the rebound. Number 19 for Hodge. We're tied at 1. Minutes later, Michel Goulet centers it to Steve Larmer. Number 34 for Larmer. 2-1 Hawks. And the Hawks and their fans enjoy the 4-1 victory. Ed Belfour, the NHL's Rookie of the Month for January, stopped 23 shots while registering his league-best 34th win. It's the Bruins' first loss in 5 games.
Tuesday, they're at home at the stadium tonight against Hartford and doing very well. First period, a great passing job here. Wilson to Chelios to Roenick. A one-timer beats Sidorkiewicz. It was 1-0 at 6:39 of the first. Still in the first period. Roenick this time with the assist. And Michel Goulet with the goal off that backhanded pass. It was 2-0 Chicago there and 2-1 after 1. In the second period, more Hawk offense. Steve Conroy shot it. Greg Gilbert would not be denied with a rebound. It's 3-1 Blackhawks in front of the Whalers. And still in the second, one more time, Wayne Presley to the upper right off the pad of Sidorkiewicz. It's 4-1 right there, and the Blackhawks are in control so far. 4 minutes left in period number 2. Good stuff here first, though, and the Blackhawks, who have been up and down a bit lately, but cannot afford to let down at this point in the year. Vancouver's in town tonight. Not exactly one of the top draws in the NHL, and the Hawks are doing a pretty good job on them so far tonight. Got off to a slow start, but Chicago finally got something going late in the first period. On a power play, a mad scramble out in front. Adam Creighton is going to give it a poke. He didn't get it, but Dirk Graham sure did on the follow-up shot. Beat former hot goalie Bob Mason, and it was at 1-0 at 17:15. They got another one later on in the first period to take a 2-0 lead, and right now it's 5-0 Blackhawks leading. And earlier